On tonight's show, we have fashion designer and entrepreneur Erica Blakely. And now for your host, KoolKard. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 126 of the Kickin with KoolKard show. I am your host, KoolKard. Thank you for tuning in. I am here every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is where you will find me. I have wonderful guests that bless me on this show every week. It is a weekly affair. We come on here. I get them to be transparent. They drop gems. They provide value. So if you are here and you are wanting to know something, I'm pretty sure you can find it if you go back into the archives. This is episode 126, so there's a lot of information on here. I can't do it without you. I do it for you. Know that. All right. And it's a blessing. Last week, episode 125, it is streaming right now on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts for your listening pleasures if you don't want to watch videos. But I had Tamara Nicole. I keep calling her Tamara. I butchered her name last week. I'm sorry, Tamara. Tamara Nicole. She is a motivational speaker. She's a she has a women empowerment group called Spark Goal. She's doing phenomenal things. She's just revealing things to women who are having they're in a rut, having some struggles trying to get going, get started, and she's alleviating some of that stress. All right, so make sure you check her out. All the links are in the description as always. All right, but this week I have another guest. I have another phenomenal woman on. She goes by the name of Erica Blakely. She is an entrepreneur. She is a fashion designer. She is a CPA by trade. She's doing everything, but she has a great story. She's doing some philanthropy. I can't even say the word right now. Okay, she's doing some philanthropy. All right, I got it. All right, I got it. We got it. We're good. But yeah, philanthropic things. There we go. She helped me out. Y'all can't hear that, but she helped me out a little bit. But yeah, she's doing some great things. I can't wait to get into it, dive into it, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna love her as well. Let's get it going. I'm gonna bring her in the cool way, how I like to do it, and we're gonna get to know her. Let's go, y'all. Welcome to the show, Miss Erica Blakely.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I like that intro. I feel real cool now.
Hey, I try to make everybody feel cool. I do what I do when I can do it. Yes, cool indeed. Yes. The cool way. Got to bring you in, right? Represent you, put you in the right light, host you up. I gotta make you feel special. Listen, I like to start every show with a prayer. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Let's get it. Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, we just thank you for this time. We thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for allowing our paths to cross, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus. We just thank you for allowing Erica to come on here and be able to speak eloquently about her business, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, and all that she's doing to help the community. Lord Jesus, we just thank you for waking us up this morning. We just thank you for allowing us to have dreams, goals, aspirations, and desires, and just to be able to get out of bed every morning and go get them. Lord Jesus, we just thank you for the food on our table, clothes on our back, Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus. We just thank you for life, love, and happiness, peace, and good health, Lord Jesus. And we just give you all the victory, all the glory, all the love, all the praise. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Felt good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to start out like that.
Like a man praying for you now.
Amen. That's a nightly thing. That's a daily thing in my life. But yeah, every week I got to get it in. It's the only way to start the show.
I agree. The
only way to start the show. So you have come to me, and we are going to discuss. You have something big going on right now. You got something big. I
do.
Yeah, you got something big going on. And I understand that you are a CPA by trade, but you have this vision, you have this dream, and it's not about you. Talk about this. You got this company. You're making French cuffs, which is very unique. I think I've never seen that before. Are you the first?
I am. I have a utility patent, so you should not have seen it before. And if you do, make sure you holler at me so that people could come see my attorney.
Man, I'm like, it's brilliant.
Thank you.
I'm glad you thought of it, but I'm like, why hasn't anybody ever thought about that? Like, that's brilliant.
Thank you so much.
You can Any shirt. You no
Any shirt
longer.
you already have, you just take a set of cuffs and they go on there through the buttonholes. So one set of cuffs can go on different color shirts, however you feeling, whatever that mood, whatever your mood or occasion is for that day.
Man.
Expand your wardrobe.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Man.
Thank
So, okay. CPA by trade.
you. I
How?
am.
How did this come about? Like CPA, and then all of a sudden I want to go and make French cuffs. What's going on?
Listen, I know, right? Uh, um, CPA. I'm a logical brain. I'm a left brainer
Okay.
girl. You know, I've been doing that for a while, and I never knew I had this whole creative right side of me, which is interesting. But the way that it came about, I'm a daddy's girl, so
Okay.
this is all from a vision of my dad. I remember I used to have to approve everything that he wore when he was leaving every day. At 3 or 4 years old, I had to give him the okay, whatever he
Okay.
had. But my daddy was a blue suede shoe kind of guy.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember a particular time that he had his tailor move one set of the French cuffs from one shirt to the other because he liked the way that his name was embroidered on that set and something
Wow.
about the collar on the other shirt. Something weird, as opposed to having make another shirt, didn't make sense to me. But
Right.
what happened was in 2012, around that time, when they started coming out with the shirts with the contrasting cuffs and collars.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine said, or an old friend said that, oh, I like that idea, but I wish the shirt was a different color. So the two of those things, that memory of my dad, that comment brought the idea about. Interestingly enough, I had never sewn in my life. Um, I, I went to Joann's. I bought a sewing machine and start learning how to do quilts. And I don't know, I love quilting. I was like, okay, here I am. This was when I was telling you I was in Vegas for a while. Every
Okay.
Friday night, I went to Joann's and I had about 7 or 8 women that we went and we did quilting on Friday nights. That was like the highlight of my week, um,
Wow.
doing that. But that's how I learned to sew. And that was the thing that gave me kind of putting the idea together, of, again, that memory from my dad as well as that comment from my friend. And two of those things came together and I started looking for it and I was like, okay, it's not there. The CPA in me, the detailed analytical part of me started researching and researching. I'm like, wait a minute. So that's when I filed for my patent. It took me 3 years to get that.
Okay.
Um, but once I was granted my utility patent, I was like, okay. But honestly, I was really busy in my CPA firm. My husband was, we had people making cuffs. We tried manufacturers all across the country. We did a lot of that, made a lot of like side money, so to speak.
Mhm.
But I was busy doing this other thing. And so I really hadn't paid much attention to it. And in 2016, I'm an only child, I told you. But in 2016, my husband and I, he was from North Carolina, but we went back to Chicago to take care of my mom, who was in the beginning stages of her Alzheimer's.
Okay.
6 months after we were there, he was murdered. And I spent the next 3 years taking care of my mom,
Okay.
until she died right before COVID. So I got busy again. Then my CPA firm was literally, COVID took 95% of that away. I had 5 employees out of work and it was like, okay, hold on. So literally for about, and I got hit before y'all knew COVID was really happening as a contractor with big corporations. My contracts were canceled before the world. Royal Caribbean was my client.
Oh wow. So
You know,
so when they caught wind of this about to happen,
yeah.
then you felt the
So what I do, what we do, I do SEC reporting for big companies. So every year companies have to file like their 10K. So
okay.
when COVID was happening, my 10K was ready for Royal Caribbean. And literally we had to hold off for filing. We watched the stock plummet. It literally went in half in like a week. You guys were kind of just getting wind of it. So after we filed, a week later, the contract was canceled. And then I sat in my house for about 5 or 6 months in the beginning of COVID, super depressed.
Well, let me stop you there because I need to go back and just say my condolences for your losses first and foremost. I don't want that to go overlooked. All right. So,
Yeah.
you've come a long way, and that takes
Listen.
strength. So I just want to acknowledge that, and you're doing something great. And so go ahead and tell your story, because I know you said you got a little message that kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So my husband had got me this card when I got my patent about how proud he was of me and all those things. And in the middle of this big depression is when I found the card, and it was like, okay, the CPA firm is kind of going by the wayside. Um, and this was, in my mind, it was a sign to say, okay, it's time to do something. So that brought about a shift for me in the middle of that foolishness. But let me say this about grief. I literally spent, so there's stages of grief that you have to get through. You have to give grief its time. Of course,
Yep.
this is me on the other side of it, looking back. Um, but you go through the anger and the denial. And for me, there was a lot of guilt in that as well, because I'm from Chicago. In my mind, I know how to move around.
Yeah.
My husband's from North Carolina. But when you're away from things so long, you lose it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You lose some things. So it's in my mind, I've taken my country husband to the big city, and where did I fall short? I rid myself with that guilt. It tore me up. Not to mention the PTSD from the night that we were robbed and when it happened. And then I just got busy taking care of my mom. So I never dealt with that. So the important message in that is that you have to deal with grief in those stages, but you got to get into that depression stage before you can get to the acceptance to move on.
Yeah.
And it took COVID to let me get in that stage. I spent a long time in there before I can get to the acceptance. And the important thing, I know we ain't talking about grief, but I think
No,
I need,
hey, listen,
I
we're
want
here.
people to
Here.
understand that not just the stages of grief, but when people say that time heals, there's no healing in that. You just really learn how to cope
Yeah,
with certain things. You learn how to cope with it.
for sure.
But your life is forever changed after certain things. That's one of those things for me.
Yeah. So you got
Yep.
your so you got the card. You found the card,
Yep. I found the
and
card that gave me
was
the boost.
the boost.
um, yeah, and plus it was, my CPA firm had been I had been tired of it for a little while, honestly.
Okay.
I've been 20 plus years. Um,
It was just time for
so
some change. It was, time,
yeah,
time
and
for a little change.
I played with it a lot before. And my husband, we played with it. I think I mentioned to you that we're motorcyclists, so we were
Mm.
able to customize a lot of cuffs for some of the organizations when they had their events and all those things.
Oh,
But
okay.
it was it was just play kind of stuff, more so like a side business. But
Right.
um, a few months after that, I'm having a conversation with a girl that I know who's in PR, and she says to me, she's like, "Hold on, did you just say you had a patent?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, I think she was on the computer. We're having a conversation. She said, "Do you realize that how many patents are granted to women?" I was like, "No, I didn't know." She was like, "Yeah, it's about 4 or so percent. Less than 5% of women are granted utility patents in the United States, and you are not doing anything with that." I was like, I didn't recognize that.
Let's touch
Um,
on that. Let's touch on that. So that percentage is like extremely low. Why?
but so hold on though. If you
Okay.
think
All
about
right. Go ahead.
No, but I was going to say that's low. But if you think about the population of Black women to women in the country, it literally becomes less than 1% of those utility patents are granted to Black women. So
Wow.
talk about extremely low. And I think that a lot of it is knowledge. So for me, I didn't recognize how the, I didn't recognize the power in being one of the elite few, but I want to be the one that leads the charge for many more to come behind me. I don't want to just be the one that has it and not do anything with it, because this becomes bigger than me. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, we don't know what those things are. We don't know how to go get them. So I just want to be the first to lead the charge.
So you're saying it's more so a lack of knowledge than the system.
I think
Not
so.
okay.
It's not conversations we have.
Yeah. True.
It, we just don't have those conversations in our community, and we should. You
Yeah.
know, no, you can't do what I've done in my product, but what is it that your idea is? What
Yeah.
maybe it require, but that doesn't mean that you have to have a patent to still make some money and do some
Right,
things. So
exactly. Now I was
I
gonna
want
say most of us in our community don't have a trademark. So
right.
you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah, and that's only a
definitely.
few $100s. Don't go pay nobody no $2, $3, $4,000 to get your trademark. How about that?
I know, seriously, seriously. A lot of this stuff you could do on your own. Just
A few
read.
$100s.
Few hundred
What's
dollars,
the trademark filing fee is $325 or something like that?
something like that. Yeah, something
It's
like
a
that.
few hundred.
If you want all the bells and whistles and support and all that, it can get up to about 700. But I mean, still
Yeah,
700 for what you can make off of that? Like, come on,
yeah,
for real.
yeah,
You
yeah.
said something to me off camera about you know a lot of people don't know that they don't need a CPA. Can
Okay.
you speak on that?
Yeah. So in my, we've talked about the corporate things that I do, but in the middle of COVID, and even prior to that, I have served entrepreneurs for like 15 years. I go speak on stages teaching people the benefit of having a business. For me, I think it's important that so my community or my what people will always say, who's your avatar? It is the person who has a job but wants or either has a side business that gives them a few extra $100 a month because everybody can't leave their job.
Yeah.
But a few extra $100 a month literally means whether it's a bigger house, a better school for your children, better healthcare,
Yep.
whatever that is, a few $100 a month can change your life. But everybody thinks when they start a business, oh, I got to get me a CPA or I got to do this, and you don't. So I have a community on Facebook where I literally just teach accounting for people that have side businesses for free. I want to empower them with the knowledge, and it pains me to see people go around the block and get taxes done and spend $800 and have
Yes.
no idea because all they wanted to know is they got a big refund and they don't even know what these people have put on their taxes. So I
Yep.
actually did a master class a couple months ago in the middle of tax season that showed people how to do their own taxes. Even if they don't do
No.
them, I want you to even understand what each of those lines are on those items. So you can read it and look at it and be like, okay, this makes sense, this don't make sense. Because
Right.
you're accountable for it, not the person who prepared it.
Exactly. And that's what people don't understand. They're getting these big refunds and have no idea what's on there, and they don't care.
And look, until Uncle come knocking on the door like, hey, what's this $15,000 charity you say you donated?
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
and then what people they took. So one of the other little tricks that they used to do is do a lot of like home business that are
Yeah.
non-reimbursed employee expense deductions, which your government took that away a couple years ago. They
Yes.
say, oh, we know that trick. You
Right.
know, but those were the two places that people would always get in trouble, but they never paid attention. You don't even own a home, but you got itemized deductions of $25,000. Like how? You know?
Right.
So
Oh
yeah,
my
but
God.
a lot of people,
Do you care to
yeah.
share the Facebook group for anybody
Yeah,
who
it's called Your Side Business CPA. It's a free group on Facebook, and we do financial stuff. We do everything related to finances that really just help people's life better. It is a free group, Your Side Business CPA. And I actually have hired a couple of people that we're actually getting ready to move for those people who need accounting on a regular basis, but we're looking at like $50, $60 a month, and you'll get free tax preparation for that at the end of the year. So I've hired a whole staff to run that part of things, but
Okay.
that is going to cost you less than what you pay around the block for somebody else. So,
Okay.
but
That's
yeah, the group is free. You're going to learn everything you need to know. And anybody who comes, let me know if you come for from this show. I'll make sure you get access to the master class that I did that taught you how to do your own taxes for free.
just
We
giving
did
out
that.
cool coupons, y'all. Cool
Cool
coupons.
coupons. Listen,
And I'll
yes.
have the links down below in the description. Y'all make sure y'all take advantage of that because you don't get too many things free in this lifetime anymore. So
Yeah.
you better get it while you can. All right.
Yes.
So let's get back to these cuffs now. So, all right. So my understanding, you started out sewing them by yourself,
I
correct?
started out sewing them, and then I had about 5 or 6 different people that helped me sew.
Okay.
So let me tell you what I did,
All right.
which was not the right thing to do. When I came up with the idea, I was like, ooh, I went and spent all this money and went to the Magic Trade Show. Are you familiar with Magic?
Very familiar.
Yeah. That was my first exposure to anything was going to Magic.
Okay.
And I literally got 1,700 orders, and I was
Oh
like,
my God.
"What am I doing? How am I going to make this?" So
Right.
I was like, I had people blowing up their machines. You hear me? Like, to the point where I couldn't fulfill the orders. Literally, fortunately, I was so new and just not really knew what I was doing. I didn't take like deposits up front and all of that, so
Yeah.
otherwise that could have been a whole mess.
Oh my
So I had people
God.
sewing for me and all of that, and then again, not knowing what I know now.
Right.
Um, so it's like, okay, let me figure this out. I went and found a manufacturer in California. I
Okay.
found one in New York. I found one in Atlanta. I literally have had 5 or 6 different manufacturers, 2 different ones in Chicago, and it's been a disaster, a complete disaster. Um, but because I was not doing a whole lot, it was like, okay, I can always pivot and go here and do that. I just kept being able to pivot because I wasn't giving the business 100%. So if I said I needed 100 cups because we were doing an event and 25 were not sellable, in my mind, it's not a big deal. I'm pissed about it, but okay. And
Yeah.
that was about standard. It was about 20 to 30% that I couldn't sell. And it was minor stuff, card. Like a line wasn't straight. I'm like, it's a simple product.
Wow.
Or
Wow.
the buttonhole, people were doing it. See, this is it. This is that learning process, that learning curve. Do a buttonhole foot at home is not the same as an industrial buttonholer. So the buttonhole wouldn't open or like different things. It was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
Um, so everybody was like, well, you can just go overseas. And I could. I really, really could. However, a couple of things. I knew that my utility patent only protected me in the United States, first of all.
Okay.
That was number one. In my mind, I knew that I would eventually get an international patent, but um, that wasn't what God told me to do. So I
Yeah.
knew that I needed to be accountable for that. I knew that while I had a great product, the impact that I can have on the lives of the people that I wanted to employ, it was placed in my heart. I want to employ military spouses and single moms and retirees that can sew across the country. And then I want to have the facility here in Atlanta that will employ neurodiverse people, particularly autistic adults that they're outliving their parents at drastic rates nowadays. And I want to be the bridge that helps get them to independent living.
Yeah.
So I knew that I can do these things. And I recognize that my company is really a social enterprise that is looking to impact the lives of the drastically underemployed. I just happen to have a dope product to be able to do that with.
Yes. Yes. I love it. It's not about you.
It's not.
It's
And
not about you.
I really wish people would understand that more than anything. Like, this campaign that we're doing right now, it's like the more money we have, the more good we can do. This is bigger than
Yeah.
me.
Let's talk about
So
that. You're doing a Kickstarter campaign right now, right? And you're
yeah,
raising it. You're trying to raise how much?
I wanted to do at least 25,000. That gets me to some of the larger pieces of equipment that I can have. So there's a process of manufacturing called U-line.
Yeah.
It's basically like car manufacturing. It gives you for each stage, say there's 10 steps in a process, each station does that one step. So when you think about that in-house, I'll be able to hire the autistic people. You give them routine things to do, they can do it well.
Right.
So process of manufacturing in-house, we'll cut everything because we'll get laser cutters that make sure we get everything cut
Everything
and
straight.
everything. That's been a big issue because it's a manual cutting process.
Right.
A lot of the larger manufacturers I've used, they're laser. I try to manufacture in New York, and they make suits for Macy's. I couldn't even get that stuff right, but
Really?
they're because they
Wow.
were manually cutting because I didn't buy bolts of fabric of one fabric that would get me 500 of one
Okay.
cuff. That takes away the exclusivity or the limited edition or the whole concept of bespoke in my mind.
Right.
So they were manually cutting, but that becomes an issue when you're cutting hundreds of things. So the laser cutter, or I may end up having to do a die cutter, but whatever it is, I can cut here, ship out to these women that I want to impact. Like military spouses. They are supporting our troops and moving all around, and it's hard for them to gain employment on a regular basis. When
Right.
you think about single moms, who can afford $300 or $400 a week in daycare? That is ridiculous.
Exactly.
And then retirees, they have worked 40, 50 years, but they can't even retire because healthcare is rising, Medicare is not.
Yep.
Whatever those cost of living is increasing. And then some of them just really want something else to do. But the way that my revenue model is set up, I'm going to be able to pay all of these people well above living wage, and give them options in supporting their families without having to sacrifice a career. But I wanted to impact these people more importantly than just making a great product. So I didn't go overseas because I could. But for me, the benefit of what we do for the people that we'll employ is more important than getting a product made for cheap.
Right. Yeah. And I guess like without having, boots on the ground there, you kind of lose your control too, right?
Well,
Kind of hard to.
they have these what they call project managers that kind of manage that whole process.
Okay.
So many people, and I am learning. All the people that I'm meeting in the fashion industry, all their stuff is made overseas. Like 90% of most of their stuff is made overseas. And now when things are shutting down, so they're all having problems. And I wasn't even that concerned about that, but for me, it was just like that wasn't what God told me to do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you definitely don't want that happening, and you're just getting started on a major scale. I don't want to say you're just getting started because you've been doing it, but I'm just saying, as far as getting that
I'm really
production.
just starting like for real.
Well, you've been dibbling and dabbling,
I've been playing around with it, but I think it's important to note, like, you got to master one thing at a time. I have mastered.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. And when you talk about humbling, I think we talked about this a little bit, but my CPA firm has been very successful, like 20 plus years. I'm 8+ figure regularly, and in revenue, that's one thing. But then I get over here and the challenges is like, okay, Erica, like, first of all, I'm a girl with a boys product, traditionally a boys product. That's number one. I have a product that nobody's ever seen before, so it requires some explanation. Yeah. Because the first thing everybody says, "Oh, what you got cufflinks?" No. So, I mean, literally, like when I say what I have, it's like we make French cuffs, not cufflinks.
Yeah.
That you
but that's the first, that's what we know. Honestly, that's
I know.
What we know.
Yeah. So then I have a product that requires explanation. A girl with a boys product, and then the biggest mindset shift is for us to understand that everybody's like, oh, I don't wear a lot of suits, but you don't have to. Society's becoming a lot more casual, and people don't. We have, like, on Fridays we do a kicks and cuffs, so people understand, like, jeans and button ups everybody wear. Right. There's a way to you add some style and flair without having to put on a stuffy tie. Nobody wears ties anymore.
Right. I don't. I know I don't.
But we got some for the people who want to wear ties. So we still got that too. But
okay.
We want, so we've created an entirely new category of accessories that people haven't seen. It's unisex. We do custom designs, all of those things. So it's been a challenge. It's been humbling. Like, how do you do so well over here, and then you come over here and it's like, Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, but you did it once. You can do it again. You just got to figure it out. You got to get that support. And we're going to talk about that support system too, or the lack thereof. What we all deal with. Right after this video, I got a quick video kind of showing off your cuffs and how you do
okay.
That.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's do that. Yes.
I love it.
Yes. There you go. Bespoke cuffs. Where did the name come from? Of course, your last name, but
no, that's okay. Yeah, my last name, but it's interesting that how many of us don't even know what the word bespoke means. And I grew up with that because my daddy was a blue suede shoe kind of guy, so bespoke, for him was normal. That's just really like custom made for you kind of thing. That's all that really means. And I ran from being a part, like my name and all that thing, because, I'm an accountant, so I'm always in the background and I'm okay with that.
Right.
But, when I found the card, it was like, for me, it was like, okay, the business is created for my dad. So I'm an only child, so I need his name to live on, but I wanted to do that. But then my tagline, I was intentional about all of that. My tagline is, you see mix on, and it has a dash in between the mix and on, because my husband's last name was Mixon. So
Okay.
it was like, okay, so I wanted to, kind of include a piece of both of them in there. So that's kind of my homage to them, and my little bit of creativity.
That's dope. That's dope.
And
I
then my
love it.
mom is Betty Blakely, so I got the BB. I got my dad's last name. I got the BB, and then I got my husband in the tagline. So
You didn't got everybody involved.
listen, I know
Hey,
it's creative and corny at the same time.
no, but hey, it lives on and it means
Yeah,
something to you. So,
it does.
hey,
It
that's all
does.
that needs to be said right there. Let's talk about this support system, though.
Or
So, listen, y'all, we got the link to the Kickstarter campaign down below. If anybody is feeling like they want to help, they love the initiative, they love the idea behind it, and what it's all about, and what she's trying to do. Because it's not about her. This is not a money grab. This
this
is
is
not
not
about.
GoFundMe.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, this is not GoFundMe. It's not about her. It's about others. It's about her being the change agent for others in their lives and their situations. So if you're feeling it on your heart, there you go. Nobody's gonna beg you, but it is what it is, and she's
We
doing
only
a
have
great thing.
7 more days. Let's make sure we know
Yeah,
what's today, the
today
10th,
is.
and I think the campaign ends on today is May 10th, and I think it ends on May 17th or 18th. We only have 7 more days, so
There you go.
for those people that'll see this video later, because it'll be up, we only have 7 more days. But if you go to that link in the Kickstarter, whatever we move to after, there'll be some information as far as like what our fundraising looks like after for that.
Okay. Yes, but yes, the link is
Let's talk
down
about
below.
Kickstarter.
Huh?
I said, let's talk about Kickstarter, because I don't even think a lot of people know what Kickstarter is.
Yeah, I've known about Kickstarter for a long time, but you're right about that. You don't really hear it
Has
as much.
it's been because we hear about GoFundMe all the time.
We hear about GoFundMe, and then we're gonna talk about that support group after that. But let's talk about Kickstarter.
So Kickstarter is a platform that allows businesses to, you are contributing to the business getting started. It's really like a pre-order. So depending on which level of award is what they call them in
Right.
Kickstarter that you decide to get, you will actually get a set of cups once we are up in production. You are just putting money ahead so that businesses can get into production. Now, if you don't feel inclined to do a actual buy a product, we actually have a smaller level, just where you can kind of give us a high five to say go. And I believe in you, I support you. Here's $5 just because. So you talk about what's the support thing you talk about, Eric?
Oh, you know how we were just discussing about how the people that say they support you and the people that should be supporting you. Nobody owes you anything, but the ones that you would think are the
Right.
last to do it. So,
Yeah.
and that just goes to say what you were talking about is real. It's a real thing. Like, you were successful, CPA
Yeah.
business, and now you started over, so to speak, with another project, and it's like, whoa. It's an uphill battle. It's an uphill struggle when you have people that have been in your corner for years.
Well, but have they been in my corner, or have I been in theirs?
Yeah, girl,
Um,
you saying a word. You are saying a
you know,
word.
like I don't have. There's not anybody who I know that has a business that has had an event that I've been invited to that I have not supported.
Yeah,
Whether I've bought something from you, whether I've supported, come to your events, whether I've come to your restaurant, whatever. I've done all of that
yeah,
for everybody that I know that is in business.
yeah,
Everybody.
yeah. And we're talking about it's just not reciprocated the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I don't know if I'm more disappointed at myself for thinking that it was going to be different, because this is not about me.
yeah,
And I know the impact that I'm going to have. I just got to go around it a different way, and that's okay. Because this is God ordained. This is not like, this is what God told me to
absolutely.
do. And I know where He
Yeah,
provides vision, He also provides provision.
yeah,
So this may not be the way, and I'm okay with that. But I was hoping this gave us a boost,
yeah,
because I felt like the power of our dollar in our community should have been enough, but
It
it's not.
should be a lot stronger than what it reveals itself to be. How let's say that, because it's
Yeah.
powerful when you want to buy some J's.
I think I shared. See, and I think people spend money on what they value. They
What they
value
value.
those things more than they do the whole, support Black business. I had somebody tell
Yeah.
me that $50 was too much to buy a set of cuffs, but they'll go blow $5,000 at the casino.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's just
It's all
what you
about,
value.
yeah, it's all
It's
about
sad,
what they value.
sad.
All of what, yeah, that's it. And self satisfaction.
Look, you don't go telling Nike, look, I know them shoes say 175, but can I get them for $5? Yeah,
Right.
come on, get out of
Right.
here.
None of that. And you thought 175, shoot,
Oh,
400, 500, 300, like it's nothing. And they go buy
what?
two pair. Listen,
Yeah,
they'll
no.
go buy two pair. One to preserve and save. It's a safekeeping thing. And then one to wear. Like,
Oh my God. See, listen.
yeah.
So I have my son, he's 30, he's gonna be 31 in August, but I have four adopted children, and I literally had eight children in my house for middle school and high school, just me and eight kids.
Wow.
I never bought a pair of gym shoes for none of them. And they were all athletes. All my boys played basketball and my girls too. I never bought a pair of gym shoes. I refused to go spend back then it was $100 and some dollars on gym
Yeah.
shoes. I never did.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. Shoot, listen. I had a pair. I don't even know what they call it anymore, but I had a pair that I really liked, and I bought them for 70
Yeah.
bucks. And I keep my shoes. Like I preserve my shoes. My shoes are good. I can keep them for 5, 6, 7 years. They still look brand new because I rotate,
Right.
whatever, right?
Right.
I went back. I finally walked out of them things. Went online to buy another pair of the same ones, and they were $100 more. I said, hell no, I can't do it.
Me either.
I can't do it. And here's another thing. All these Jordans, all these retro J's, they call them retros now. Well, guess what? I had all of them when I was a kid. For
Probably paid $60, $70 for them by then.
No, they were $120.
Okay.
They were.
All right.
But I bought them back. Well, my dad bought them back then. My brother bought them, whatever. But
Right.
they were 120 bucks back then. But you trying to
Yeah.
tell me you going to repackage this thing 4 or 5 times over and sell it for $400 and call it a retro? I can't do it.
They cost that much?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
If you can get them the day that they drop in store, which is good luck because you got to sleep outside and stand in a line overnight.
That's crazy.
Right? If you want to get them for like retail price, which would be like 180, 200, 225, that's retail. But all these resellers, they go in there and grab them and they buy them up and then they put them on Goat.
Crazy.
This Goat app and all these other apps, and they mark the price up 400, 500, and people buy them like it's nothing.
You just made me think of something when you talk about people sleeping outside. I know this is so off topic, but kind of go with me.
Go with it. Go with it.
When we talk about entrepreneurship in general, people get so stuck in perfection. Get perfection paralysis. I had a coach tell me, perfect is for the broke, first of all. Yep. But when you think about Apple, I'm an Apple user. I'm a Mac. I'm a diehard iOS. However, when you think about you say you are or you not?
Yo, I am. Yeah, everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was gonna say you can't be using Cool with a K if you got an Android.
Right.
But when you think about the company, they got what people I think most people understand what you mean when you say minimally viable product. Get your MVP. They put out the iPhone, knowing that it wasn't perfect, knowing that there are some things that need, but it was a minimally viable product. They put it out, people bought it, loved it.
Yep.
They were figured out every year. They realized they need to change or tweak something and make it better, and then better, and then better. Yep. And every year, people sleeping outside to go buy a new one, spend another $1,000 on a new one.
Yes.
So that should be the lesson for people when you're looking at whatever it is that you're doing. It ain't got to be perfect. Just start.
Just go.
Get something minimal and go.
Yep.
Look, 2/3 of God's name is go.
Yes, indeed.
So you just got to go. And then you improve and enhance, because the other thing I've learned in business, people buy from people. It ain't all the time what you're selling. It's about you more than it is. You are your brand.
Yeah.
But of course you got to, now don't be out here with no foolishness.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but just go, just start, just and then figure it out and improve as you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Like you said, people buy from people that they like. If they like
And
you, they'll
when
support
you
you.
look at brands, like Elon Musk has more followers than what's the car? What's the car that he makes?
Tesla.
The
Tesla.
Tesla,
Yeah.
right?
Because they
His
support him.
personal page has more, right? Because it's about him.
They bought
Uh,
into him. They bought into his. He's a culture. He's a culture within himself. They bought into it.
Listen,
Yeah, yeah, that's
you
real.
know, but it's more about you are your brand, so people are going to be more interested in you. Yeah, they want Tesla's a great car, but they still want to know more about Elon, and that's why his personal stuff. But the point of the matter is, just start the business, get a
Yeah,
minimally buy product, and just go.
grow as you go. Grow as you go. That's it.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, and you know
yeah.
what? I struggle with that too. And it's not a thing where I am shy or camera like I act or whatever. Right? Not camera shy. None of that. I act a fool in my personal space. That nobody
Right,
know I act a fool, right? But
right,
I
right.
hate social media, so I don't get on there and get personal with people and have allow people to feel me, and that's what sells. Whatever you're
That's a
trying to
challenge.
do, they're gonna buy into it because they like you.
Yeah.
But
That's a
I
challenge
lack
for
that.
me too. It's a
Yeah,
challenge for me too. Like we just talked about this. Like if it wasn't for business, I would not be on social media at all. Not
absolutely.
one platform. None of
High
this.
five me. High five me on that. High five me. Bop.
Yeah, I be call
Yeah.
me, pick up the phone.
Right. Right.
Like
I can't do
so.
it, man. I just
And then I know that part of this whole campaign, part of the whole business, I recognize I'm a social enterprise and I got to tell my story. So
yeah.
I'm breaking out of that. I'm learning that, but I'm a CPA. Like ain't the IRS ain't coming for us. Ain't nobody gonna steal no money. Our budget's gonna be on point. All of that.
Right.
But this other stuff is like, whoa. And listen, and I think this is what I didn't tell you earlier, but I know you were talking about how people are out here taking money from people. If I tell you the amount of money just in the last 2 years that I have been, for lack of better terms, robbed for people that were supposed to do things, marketing and all of these things that they say they're going to do. When
See
I talk about the thousands of dollars, and that's
that
why I tell people like 90% of what you need for your business, you don't have to pay for. There are resources, there are things, and I try to give all those things in my group because I hate people getting, for me, I'm grateful that I'm at a stage in my life, those things don't bother me. They sting and they
yeah, for
piss me
sure.
off, but financially it doesn't hurt me. Now, and everybody's like, well, you need to go blast these people. But for me, it's like, I'm not going to go on social media blasting people because I could.
Yeah.
I'm in some of the same groups they are and all that. Now, if somebody asks me, I'm going to be honest,
Of course. Yeah.
but
Good.
I'm not going to go blast them because I know that the conscience of somebody has to be, I just got to trust God to deal with them. I
Yeah.
know your conscience will eat you up more than anything I can do on social media.
Yeah. And what
It's so
sucks is because I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying it's so sad how many people out here taking money from
Yeah,
entrepreneurs.
for sure. It is. And it stings, it burns, it sucks. It sours you a little bit because now it's like you're only you're one woman and you can't do it all. But at some point when you're taken advantage of, you feel like, you know what? Okay, we're going to do this task, complete that and move on to this because I have to do it myself right now because I'm being taken advantage of. You want to hire some help, but it's hard.
Yeah,
It's
I've
hard,
learned.
man.
I've learned to be a CRM person. I've learned how to do a little bit of website stuff, like the whole Kickstarter campaign page that you
Yeah.
see. I did that on my own. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's sad. I'm
It is
fortunate.
sad.
Like I have a good photographer here in Atlanta. I have some models that I use regularly. They don't break the bank. So I'm fortunate in those aspects that I have a good group of people that I can use. I got to pay them, but they
Yeah.
not out here trying to take my money.
Right. Yeah.
So but the stuff that I need, all that other stuff, the marketing and the social media posting and all that, it's just like, God, people charging thousands of dollars
Yes.
for entrepreneurs to do stuff, and I'm like, why y'all taking people
You
money
know,
like
have
that?
you looked into Fiverr?
I use Fiverr.
Use Fiverr? Okay.
Fiverr.
All right, cool.
I use Fiverr. I have a online international VA.
Okay.
So you got to do what you got to do. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I'm asking you because I've been using Fiverr for like logos and all types of design stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm definitely about to dig into that and put a little team together and make them work in unison. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Because
yes,
you
yes.
build the relationships and that you repeat business with them, they're gonna look out for you and hold
Yep.
it down. Yeah. So that's where you got to take it to. So you
Yeah.
don't have to do
Fiverr
it
is,
alone.
Fiverr is a jam. Listen, and then for the people, look, Canva is my other jam now, honey. Canva can't.
Listen. And listen, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Canva gets
That's
you your whole life.
Canva. All the stuff you see me do, I be right on my phone. I get on here and I build the show in my
Yep.
eCam platform, but everything else, right on that phone. I be mobile, gone, moving, just getting it. Boop, boop,
Yep.
boop, boop,
Yep.
boop, you know?
Yep.
So yeah, you got to figure it out. Cause I
Yep.
pride myself in really just not needing anyone. And I know eventually, yeah, you got to
I'm,
work with somebody, whatever. But
that's me too. That's
yeah,
me too.
but
And
I'm not gonna allow somebody to
gotta get
slow
out
me
of we
down.
gotta get out our own way though, because
Yeah,
like I literally like I have people that I know who have big followings, and it's just like I'm scared to go ask them to post about this campaign. I know this is not about me, but I don't ask people for favors, and
exactly.
I'm trying to get out of this. And
Yeah,
it's just like, but then because when I've asked people or when I've sent, cuffs to people and say, hey, can you do this? It hasn't been done. So now here I am shying away from doing it with other people because nobody's done it.
yeah.
But there's another important lesson in that for all these entrepreneurs. Um, when you don't get support in your community, as we talked about, there's a whole world of people that will support you.
It's the ones that
Your
don't know you.
your business is not going to be profitable or successful or evergreen, long lasting from the people in your community. So
Nope. No.
don't you got to expand your wings.
Yes. Yes, yes, man. Somebody is going to support you. It is not going to be the ones you think that's going to do it. It's not, it's just not going to be that. So
Yeah.
just keep doing it, keep pushing, keep working. It's going to grow. And if a guy's in the plan, is he going to get you there. You know what I'm saying?
The crazy thing is, so I just got this fixer upper house here in the Atlanta area. It's much bigger than I even wanted. I have my house, I have another house, but I fell in love with this house.
Mm.
And then I was like, I got a basement that's probably over 1,000 square feet that I don't even go in. I was like, maybe I could just make this house the office and go somewhere else. I'm
Yeah.
like, what am I doing? What am I doing? So
You got to use
this.
what you got. You have the tools. You just got to use them. And
Yep.
that's for a lot of people. And we're not even
Yeah.
talking just, a location. Like we have the tools. Just use them.
Listen,
Start.
we do, and those of us, people like you and I, who have the tools or knowledge of what those tools are, we have to be willing to share them with the other people who don't,
Absolutely.
because knowledge is half the power. Now
Absolutely.
I can lead you to the water. I can't make you drink,
Yeah.
but if I show you how to go get it and show you how to get it effective, cost effective, and you
Yeah.
don't do it, shame on you.
It's something as simple as this. People from the outside looking in, everything looks like wow, right? Like, okay, I build my show, and I'm not just talking about my show. I'm talking about anything in general. Like people are watching you, and they're seeing you move. They see you got your banner. They see you got your Kickstarter thing. They see that you got your models and you're promoting, and you actually have product. And to them, it's like, damn, how's she doing that? There's a lot of people asking questions. Trust me, how's she doing that? And I don't know if they, and we're not even gonna get on the fact of whether they want to see you grow and do your thing or not. But they're
Probably
watching
not.
from afar,
Mhm.
right? They're watching from afar, and they're like, damn, how's she doing that? Same thing with my show. I build my show myself. I put it together. I'm consistent. Look, 126 episodes. I've been active for 2 years straight. Have not missed an episode. People watch and they see that and they want to know how. My point is, I get people that'll watch me from afar and then they'll hit me up and say, "Hey, uh, how do you do this or how do you do that? And certain people, I'll be like, just hit me.
Right.
I'll
Right.
show you. It's not
Right.
hard. Trust me, it's
Right.
not hard.
Right.
And they won't reach back out and get the information. So, do you really want to know? Do you really want to do what you say you want to do? Or are you just probing? Or maybe they do want to do it, but do they really want to do it?
Do you think that we are lazy as a people, as a society? You think we're just lazy? You think we're scared? You think what do you
Scared.
think that is?
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think everyone's lazy. There's a lot of lazy people out here, and there's a lot of self-entitled people who feel like things should just happen for them without the work. I do realize that, and social media is breeding that, right? Instant gratification. I don't want to do the work. I just want to look cool. I want to have the money. I want to have the girls. I want to have the women. Whatever their desire
But you
is.
don't want these 3 a.m. not sleeping. You don't want
But you
that.
don't want these 3 hours of sleep, right? So
You
what I'm
want the
saying is,
glory and don't know the story.
you're right. I think that a lot of people, they just have cold feet. They have dreams, they have goals, they have desires. And when someone approaches them with an opportunity to really take that step, it's like, wait, hold on. They get a little nervous, they get scared, they get timid.
Yeah.
And some people are afraid of success too. I've seen it clear as day. Like, what's holding you back? Like, the opportunity's there and you won't take it. And this is all you've talked about. Afraid of success. And then
Yeah.
lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
They want to jump in and do something, but they haven't even read a book about it or watched a YouTube on it to like really figure out the details of how to do it and how to maintain it and sustain it. It's a lot of that.
Give them the link to the YouTube and they still won't watch it.
Yes.
So they
Yeah.
don't want to do the
You you,
work, but
you got a person that'll teach you and mentor you, but you won't even call them. You won't even show up on time. You're inconsistent. It's a lot of that.
yeah.
And yeah, there's laziness in that because it's like, man, I don't feel like it. Well, do you feel like being successful? Do you feel like getting what you said you want?
One of my mentors says money is only a problem when you don't have access to it.
Yep.
But your access comes from your action.
And information
Mm-hmm.
and your
Yep.
strategies. I got a homeboy. Oh, I won't. Yeah, I got a guy. He's a homeboy. Really, real good friend of my friend, but he talks strategy, and he's brilliant with it. And I take that. I hear him. I'm listening. I'm just like, man,
Right.
this guy's great. And it really is all about strategy. Like you could have. Here's the thing. He's big in credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said something. I was like, dang, that is so true. Everybody talks about, man, I gotta get my credit right, right? Okay, right? Hear me out. Man, I gotta
Yep.
get my credit right. Is it just to get a car? Is it just to get approved to get a car or to get a house or just to get your credit right, right? So when
Right.
everybody gets their credit right and you got this 800 credit score, now what? What are you doing with it? Are you using the credit to get leverage to go and get the bank's money to go do something to build something up and make more money to build a legacy? Or are you just gonna sit there with that 800 credit score? A lot of people just sit there with the 800 credit score because they don't know the strategy, they don't know the information, they don't know how to go and use that credit and make it work
Right.
for them and their family. It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what pains me in that whole what you just said too, not only the whole credit thing, but do you know how many people went and blew this PPP money and stuff they got? Like,
I was, yo, hold on. I was just talking to my son about that. They were, listen, in the, actually it was post COVID, right?
mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess we're still in. I don't know what we're doing anymore. But anyway, COVID was kind of dying out, right? And they were advertising. Everybody was
Hang
getting.
out. COVID ain't going nowhere.
I mean, I'm just talking about the whole mass
Right.
hysteria of it, right?
Right.
Everybody
Right.
masked up, scared. So everybody started getting back outside, and they were on the radio. And dude was like, "Ladies, come on out tonight. We got the PPP boys in the building. Come and get you one of these ballers. They looking to spend that money."
Wow.
I was
That's
just like,
crazy.
man, this is some clown shit. And then you hear about all the guys that's getting indicted. They got these $1 million loans, buying
Card, let me tell
Lamborghini.
you, I literally lost, and really at this point, I could realize it wasn't a friendship, but I lost a 30-year friendship on PPP stuff. Somebody who talked to me about the fact that they made like 1 point some million in 2020. This was
Mm-hmm.
early last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were saying how they went and got these PPP loans. Yet here on my CPA side, I'm watching entrepreneurs that are small mom and pops literally losing their livelihood for their family.
Struggling.
They couldn't get this money. And
Yeah.
here, so, and my problem was with not her particularly, but she was so mad. Like literally, when I tell you she dragged me like I was just because I had a problem with that. It
Yeah.
wasn't, it was just if there's a pool of money, these people that need it can't access it. But here, Pookie and Bebe and them out here balling for a week and, going and buying all this designer stuff and putting money in those other folks' pocket
Yes.
when you could have took that $10,000 and flipped it 5 times and changed your life. Like, come
Yep.
on.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. Like if you gonna take it,
do something. Do the right thing.
illegitimately for the most part, lying saying you got 10 employees and it's just you, and at least do something. At least do something and create something for somebody else that can make some money with you or whatever.
Change your family life.
Yeah.
Create a job
Yeah, at
for
least
yourself
change
or
your family like
business
that.
or something.
Don't blow it, man. It's
Yeah, that's so
sad. It's so sad. And now Biden, he's talking about he has a task force. They're doing audits. Man, it's gonna be so many people in trouble out here.
Look, I just want him to get the student loans forgiven. How about that? Can we work on that?
Please,
That's
can
all.
I get that? Can I get that? Please.
Because everything, honestly, first of all, I'm so non-political. Like I'm so neutral. I don't care because I just truly believe that anybody who's in office, somebody gonna be disappointed with them.
Yeah,
Period.
for sure.
God has told us that man cannot rule itself. So it wouldn't have
Right.
mattered who was there. We're not going to be happy. However, I've been super disappointed in him and all the
Yeah.
things that has happened since he's been in office. But if you don't do nothing else, get these student loans going. How about that?
Yeah, and I don't even listen. Look, considering I don't owe that much, but I ain't paying it because I'm waiting on him to see what he gonna do, and I hope he does something.
I got undergrad. I got undergrad. I got cosmetology school from before. I got undergrad. I got graduate. I got CPAs. List. I got my doctoral program. Like,
right.
Y'all can have all of that.
Right. And listen, he talking about what he said. He'll relieve us of like 10,000 at least, right?
Man, bye.
I mean, I'll take it.
I'll get that 6 figures.
Yeah.
Take it all. $10,000 can't even buy you a year in college nowadays. Come on now.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
$10,000 for a trade program.
I know. That's why you got so many kids opting out of college trying to go be an entrepreneur.
And right, but
and too lazy to really Trades
are going by the wayside. And I think you just talked about social media, this instant gratification things, and I think that's setting people up for failure.
Yeah.
Because they're not learning the strategies and things to do. They're getting this instant money or getting these big platforms and getting money from that, and they're not investing it properly and doing the things that will be sustainable.
Right.
So yeah.
Exactly.
It's sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
We just gotta do better, man. We gotta do better as a people. And I'm not just talking about us, I'm just talking about
charging a lot of that.
Huh?
I said I'm hoping to lead the charge on a lot of that.
Yes, you are. You're doing something great, and it's gonna pan out for you. Just stay the course. Stay the course. You know, like I said, if God's in it, He's gonna get you to it.
Yes, sir.
He's gonna get you to it. It's just a little something that it's a little task for you. Just bringing you back down, getting preparing you. That's all that is. Preparing you. It can't be easy. It can't be
like
easy.
I said, where He provides vision, He also will provide provision. So I believe that the provision that I am tasked to do by God, He's going to make a way for it. So
absolutely, give everybody.
And it's not going to always be the way that you think. So
Huh?
just keep that in mind.
Say that
I
again.
said it's not going to always be the way that you think. So I want
Yeah.
people to keep that in mind too. You know, we have one vision of how things should go, and God has another one sometimes. So
Yeah.
you also have to make sure that you are looking this way and not just this way.
Exactly. And the vision that the vision that you think that it should go in, it could get there, but it ain't gonna be that route.
Yes, yes,
It's
yes,
not gonna be that
yes.
route. Like
Right,
for me, I used to do music, and I
yeah,
had just dreams of entertaining,
yeah, yeah,
and I fell out of love with it. God took that from me. He really
yeah.
pulled me out of that, but I'm
And you
still
fought it
here.
for a little while.
Fought it. Oh hell, I fought it. I fought it for years. I'm talking
Right.
swinging. And I just said, you know what, God, you got it, man. And
Yeah.
but here I am though. I'm doing something I love. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what
Yes.
I will be
Yes.
doing. I will be entertaining. I will be helping people. And I hope I'm doing that now, but on a bigger platform as well. You know what I'm saying? So I could
Yeah.
really touch the
Absolutely.
masses. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. Give everybody your website.
Okay.
Where
So
they
it's Blakely Bespoke as you see it on all platforms. The website is blakeleybespoke.com. You'll have the link for the campaign. If you guys could look at that, support it. We have a video that gives you everything that we're doing. Share it. We got 7 more days on that. But social media, Instagram, Facebook, everything is Blakely Bespoke.
yeah.
And I
And
want you guys to also just understand and pay attention to, like on all of our social media, we've been talking about the groups of people we want to help. And we are a social enterprise that is really just looking to impact the lives of people across the country that are drastically underemployed. We just
yeah,
happen to have a dope product that lets us do that.
yes. Support
Yeah.
business.
And then my Facebook group is Your Side Business CPA. It's a free
Yeah.
group for any entrepreneurs that you need accounting help or anything like that. It's a free group. We don't do advertising. Ain't nobody gonna be over there spamming you trying to sell no coaching, no services, none of that. We don't even allow any of that. So it's literally just for you to come and learn.
Yes. Your side
Yeah.
business CPA. Y'all make sure
Yep.
you check that out. Everything's gonna be down below anyway, so you
Yeah.
have no excuse. That Kickstarter campaign is the first link. You can't miss it. It's the first link.
7 days.
Yes, support business, not just black owned business. Support
Yes.
business. Support people trying to do
Yes.
something good for other people, man. We need more of
Yes.
that. We need more of
Yes.
that. We're
Yes.
living in the age of the selfie. Everybody's self-centered. Everybody's looking at me, me, me. Look at me. No, right?
Yeah.
Help somebody else, man. This is out of love.
Yes.
People need support out here. People need help. And Erica is doing that. She's doing God's work. Y'all help her do that. All right? Make sure
Thank
you
you.
follow her, Blakely Bespoke on Instagram, all of that. Like I said, it's all below. Y'all make sure you check me out as well. KoolKard, cool with a K, card with a K. Y'all is kind. Y'all is nice. Come follow your
Kara,
boy.
can I take us out in prayer?
Girl, come on. I'm already bowed.
God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your grace and mercy. God, I want to thank you for this opportunity just to speak to people. I want to thank you for the spirit that you've placed in Car, that he is out here helping people. I ask that you will just continue to bless him, continue to open a path for him, that he continues to do your work, continue to help him reach people, open people's heart and their minds about the work that he's doing, about the work that we're doing, open people's heart and mind just about getting outside of themselves and understanding that the way that we lead people to you is by the work that we do here. That is what we are charged to do, God. We ask that you will just continue to bless each and every person that is under the sound of my voice. Meet them at the source of whatever it is that their need is, God, and continue to lead people through you. I ask that you would just allow me to stay humble, to stay on the course that you set for me. God, I need you to lead, guide, and direct me in every way that you will have. And it is in Jesus' name that I pray on this night. Amen.
Amen. That's
So
a
thank
first. I love it.
thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes, likewise. Thank you for having you. Love your spirit. Love your energy. Thank you for
Thank you.
gracing the show. It has been a pleasure.
My pleasure. All mine. I'm humble. Thank you so much, Cart.
Absolutely. Likewise. Hey guys, every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is where you will find me right here with somebody like Erica, dropping gems, giving you that value, praying for you. We're praying for y'all too. God is in here. This is church, 2 or more. This is church. That's why we do it. All right. It's all love. Do it for you. Can't do it without you. You know where to find me. I'm back here next Tuesday, Never know who I might have. Y'all tune in, man. We just dropping gems, showing love and sharing. All right. Peace and love, y'all. We out of here.